Okay, so now we're going to give the robot its muscles. And in order to do that, we're going to go to description, and I have added a new Zacro there. But this is the original one, Zacro URDF, and this is the new one. So let me just show you quickly the difference between the two. So I'm gonna go to select to compare and compare with selected. And the only main difference between them is that at the very end of the new file, there's this new section where I will be defining the control interfaces. Okay, so there's this new URDF Zacro file. And at the very end, I have this whole section about configurations for ROS2 control for Gazebo. And we start with this this block here, defined as hardware. And basically, I'm telling the system that there will be this GZ ROS2 control node that will be interfacing between ROS2 control and Gazebo. So it's like a hardware interface. And then for each of the joints of the robot, I'm going to define a section, one section for each of them, where I'm going to, for each joint, create a command interface, which is telling us the type of signal that we will be sending, in this case position. And there's a minimum and maximum position. Remember, this is the joint that can just steer, and it can only steer in the negative 90 or 90 degrees range. And then the state interface tells us the kind of feedback the sensor gives us back. So we get position and velocity as feedback. Then we go to the drive joint, and the same. The drive joint is for the wheels to turn. So each of the two joints for each wheel will have its own section. So the drive joint will be driven by velocity. And here we'll probably have to adjust this later. This is too large, but this is a -10 and +10 meters per second velocity. That's definitely too large, so we're gonna have to change that later. But we don't have to worry for now. And now the feedback or state interface will be position and velocity. So we control this joint with velocity, but it can give us position and velocity back. Notice how for each wheel we have one command, and this is, for example, the front left steer joint. It must match the name of a joint. Now remember, we used the macro, right, to create the wheel. So here the name starts with the front left, and the macro will append the steer joint to it. So we can see there, that's the macro. So that name will be replaced with front left or rear right. So what I'm trying to show you here is that these names must match the names of the joints defined in the URDF. Okay, so we have one for each of the 6 wheels, and each wheel has 2 joints, one that is revolute, one there is a continuous. And then the last piece is we need to add this plugin block, and we need to give it parameters. Okay, so this plugin will take care of loading some parameters that are in what we're going to use to configure the whole thing. Right, so this gazebo part are not the configurations. It's just like saying, okay, these joints have actuation or control, and we need to define the actual parameters for the whole system in a separate file. So we will look into those parameters next.